Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon which part of the globe you're in. Mr. Bell here. You know, a practitioner now, asset management, software asset management, configuration management, 30 years, and hear about helping observe what I'm seeing in our world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon which part of the globe you're in. Mr. Bell here. You know, a practitioner now, asset management, software asset management, configuration. And sometimes you have to work with whatever you have, especially when you do live. Hey, sometimes a little feedback happens, and it's an opportunity here to actually provide you insight on what I've observed over the last week within our space. And where I'm coming from is think about where we are. Think about how we're persevering what we're doing. Think about how we get challenged. We're getting challenged because we have all these things hitting us from multiple angles. You see, within our space, hardware asset management, software asset management, configuration management, we hear all these new terms. We've got FinOps. We have to deal with stakeholders. We have new projects. We have new team members we need to onboard. We've got management we need to inform. We've got processes that are failing. We've got technology being brought in. It just keeps hitting us. And we don't have time to think. See, I was talking to a practitioner, actually just yesterday, I was talking to a practitioner, and she's trying to find her place in our world. And she's been here for 10 plus years, actually close to 20 years. And she's struggling. And she says, well, Bill, let's go take all this training and it'll help me focus what I do to be more technical, to focus on all these software license titles. And I go, great, that's awesome. However, realize taking all the training on the separate titles and the different vendors is not going to help you. It'll help you get some knowledge, but for you to be proficient in those, you need to work on one vendor at a time. Understand not just the licensing and the nuances behind it, but also understand how they apply. How they apply from a calculation perspective, how to negotiate, how you can work with the vendor, talk about how their stakeholders are using it. I was just using some of those examples. And taking the plethora of all, and say you want to do Adobe, Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and IBM, and I want to throw all that at once. It's like you're going to overwhelm yourself more than where you are today. And one of the suggestions I had for her on that side is do what you really enjoy. If you love the technical part, embrace it. Sure, you have challenges, and she was having challenges trying to get on a project. Sure, you have challenges, but look where your specialty is. Don't go across the board. And I've been in this place too. Absolutely. Look across the board and better understand where you really want to be, expand upon it. Focus on where you are. And where does this take us? Because I think we're all struggling with this. Trust me, I'm a 30-year practitioner, and I struggle with this every once in a while myself. What I do this, and even making this happen this weekend, it's been a little challenging. I will not say otherwise. I've had my own challenges, but I'm here. I'm making it happen. It's not the time I usually do it. And we're going to get more proficient at it. But I'm making sure it happens to help you go that next step. So I have something across my path just the other day, and I want you to leverage this. I've got some cards to help us with, and that's what I wanted to use for today's Fireside Chat, is to think about how we can better ourselves. Now, I still have Motivation Monday happening on tomorrow, being Monday. I want to think about what you can do immediately today outside of the workplace. You can leverage work with it too if you want, but it's more for you. And how you can better go that next step. Because the quick observation before I get those 5 steps is, again, there's a lot of noise hitting us from several angles. We're getting pummeled right now because we're the linchpin to the organization. And yes, we in our disciplines are the linchpin. We always are when the financial constraints are there within organizations. Everyone wants to know where the assets are. Great. Assets are. They want to know where the software resides. They want to know if they're compliant or not. They want to know when the renewals are going to be. And if it's configuration items, they want to know where their CIs are. Yeah. They want to know what relationships are in place, what's the impact behind it, as well as how is it being leveraged within the enterprise from an impact analysis perspective, amongst others, but I'm just giving some of those examples. So as we're looking at that, we already have plenty on our plate. And trust me, we are the most utilized resource in the entire organization. Definitely underappreciated. We're overworked because of it. But I want you to realize and pat yourself on the back for being in your role. You're still here. That's phenomenal. It's extremely overwhelming, especially if you're doing multiple different hats. Now, if you're doing one focus, you're probably still overwhelmed. I know large organizations where they have a team of 15. Yes, that's 15 individuals. That was an example of hardware and software asset management, and it was split kind of down the middle. And even that entire team was overwhelmed because of the licensing and the impact they provided within the organization and who they talk to. So if you're one of those individuals, individually or collectively, pat yourself on the back right now. Just go on, right there. Pat yourself on the back. Because you by yourself are making an impact. You figured out how to make it work, even if you're only just procuring. I don't want to say only. I did say only. But that's a critical need. If you're being able to order equipment, you actually receive it and you make sure it's deployed, that's critical for the environment. If you're the one actually helping the disposition, helping put that in place, as well as to help redeploy it or retire the equipment, also extremely important, in addition to all the operational tasks. See, what I'm seeing today is everyone's trying to oversimplify when it comes to our disciplines. That's our challenge. They're saying we don't do much. The reality is we do blank enough, quite a bit, right? I'll let you fill in when that blank was. And I want you to realize that you will be overwhelmed. We've talked about that. So here's a couple steps to help you through that on the Fireside Chat. Again, this is to help you pace yourself. The first one, lots of opportunities on this one. Feed your mind daily. Feed your mind. Feed your mind with 30 minutes of reading every morning. I actually do this. I'd be able to look and see what's really happening out there. I love Napoleon Hill as an example. If you've never done that, look at Napoleon Hill, read it. Actually mentored by Andrew Carnegie here in the United States. One of the pioneers we had literally with the locomotives. But being able to say, read some books like that to actually help you think outside of work. Maybe it's something you want to learn a new task on. Do that. That's great. But leverage 30 minutes, because if you do 30 minutes daily, because we all say we don't have time. If you read something like that 30 minutes every day, think about how the magnifies throughout the entire day. How it helps you go that next step. How it helps you prepare for your day. Like I said, Napoleon Hill's one, Think and Grow Rich. That's one book. There's several out there. It doesn't make that. You can do that. You can get Tony Robbins. You can do Brendon Burchard. Those are books. I follow lots of them on that side, but I'm just using an example. That's number one. Number two, your body, because we just talked about strengthening the mind. So with strengthening the mind, that's the number one. Number two, the body or your muscle, right? Yeah, look at me, a muscle. My wife would laugh at me at that part. Is feed and strengthen your body. What I mean by this one is exercise. We, in our ways, we struggle. We struggle to get up and move around. Trust me, I'm at a standing desk. I totally love it. I've done this way before the pandemic. The pandemic helped. I had a standing desk all throughout the pandemic. I never sit down. I literally have a $700 chair sitting next to me that never gets used. It just collects dust. It's a dust collector. I do that so it keeps my energy up, keeps it vibrant, allows me to focus on the conversation I have. So what do I mean by feeding the body? Exercise, stretch, do about 20 to 30 minutes every day. Go for a long walk. I do a walk like every day for 4 miles with the dogs. Dogs help too. They're also therapeutic. Think about how you're feeding your body. That exercise, and I usually do a walk in my neighborhood here in Atlanta. Rain or shine, I'm doing it. My wife sometimes doesn't go with me because she doesn't want to, but rain or shine. Number 3. So I've talked about the mind. I've talked about the body. Next, find a role model. Find a role model / mentor, someone that can help you and talk with. See, that's one of the reasons why I created the co-op, the IT management co-op, because there was no place to talk amongst each other. Sure, you had conferences. I've been to conferences for years, conference speaker, recognized by different membership. That's great. But being able to collaborate on a regular basis. See, the reason why you're seeing this is because we're connected. You might be leveraging me as a role model, which I appreciate if that's the case. If we need to connect, don't be shy about it. As technologists, we do not like to get out of our shell. We don't. So here's a probe. I'm poking the bear a little bit. Reach out. Reach out to 3 friends. Just reach out to 3 friends this week. You maybe hadn't talked to them in a while. Say, I'd love to catch up. You'll be amazed at how that works. And maybe they're role models. If they're role models, even better. Touch base and say, okay, let's synchronize. Next one. You have all these activities happening in your head, right? I cannot remember the name of the speaker, but he actually had a great quote. You know where the greatest number of inventions are? The greatest number of inventions? The cemetery. I know it's a morbid thought, but it's true. How many ideas have you had that you have not taken action on? You've not pursued. For some reason, something hasn't executed. Maybe it's a self-improvement to be able to take a course. Maybe it's being able to say, okay, I want to go expand myself and expand my own skills, but I feel fearful it's not going to happen. Well, from that, there's a quote out there. Fear it anyways and take act. Fear and take action anyways. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a great. But here it is, take massive action. What I mean is an opportunity where there's software asset management, hardware asset management, configuration management. We do plenty. Maybe you want to go reach out to for a new friend, or maybe you have a new stakeholder. Think about that. Take action. I mean, it's about moving forward. The only way you can move forward is you go outside of what you typically do. And if you fail, congratulations. You're just like the rest of us. What most people don't and they forget when we talk about failure is the only way to succeed. It's the only way to success. We have to fall down. I'll give an example. We either have kids, been around kids, we were a kid ourselves, right? Remember that one time growing up, you fell down? And you fell down, maybe riding a bike, maybe running, maybe just walking. I've done that. Guilty. Still do it. What did you do? Did you say, I don't want to do that anymore and say, just quit? Or have you seen a kid do exactly the same thing? So, no, I don't want to. And you said, no, don't worry about it. There's no need for you to walk. More than likely, either you or the child or both, maybe you know both scenarios, or grandson, grandchild, whatever, they got up and they did again. That's my point. Take massive action. We're all learning how to walk, irrelevant what our age is. We're learning how to walk and move that forward. Last one. We all do our best to do what we can within our time given. Some do less, some do more. We all have our nuances behind it. But when you're helping someone, actually any time, but I'm just giving one example. When you give someone, give more than you expect to receive. That could be the management report. Maybe you're looking at insights and you're able to say, oh, have you thought about it? And you did some more investigative work. So you're ready for that management report. And you're having it with management and say, here's what the report says. But did you know Oracle licensing, we're compliant, but you realize how close we are to be out of compliance? All of a sudden you got the eye like that. And then it's like, please tell me more. They want to know that. Expect to give more than you expect to receive. Because when you start giving that information more than what you're being asked for, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to go that next step. Now, this could be for procurement. Okay, we're talking about how we're procuring things. This could be operationally paying attention to those KPIs and metrics, making sure that things are current. It could be looking at the data and say, oh, wow, we have stakeholders and they need to focus more on their data. Irrelevant, configuration management, asset management, software asset management, all the above. Maybe you have this cloud initiative and I need to figure out, okay, how can we look at this and start working with your FinOps team or maybe your cloud team, depending on how it is. It's kind of intermixed right now. And it's like, and just sit down with them and realize it's like, I want to help you. I'm going to go over and above and I want to help you because I realize that I'm going to be part of the solution for you. And I don't want you to stumble. I want us to collectively succeed. Because when you do that, what we call an olive branch, reach out to someone else, they're going to say, oh, wow, Bill really does care. He wants to help me succeed. Maybe I need to leverage him more often in my discussions. So as we're looking at this, as we're thinking about what we do and how we do it, think about how you're able to move forward. I said 5 steps, right? Feed your mind. Remember, that's reading 30 minutes daily. Feed your body and strengthen it. Remember that exercise. Exercise goes a long ways. It also helps your mindset, helps you focus, and allows some things just get out there. Find a role model, maybe a couple of role models. I mean, irrelevant who you're talking to. Even you've heard like Tony Robbins, things like that. He talked about the other day. He has 4 role models, 20 years his senior. Even someone like that has role models. I have role models. Take massive action. That helps you progress. We all get stagnant, but it's when you sit still and you don't move, that's when you realize you start falling back. So take massive action. Make it happen. For example, I'm going public right now. If you would have told me 5 years ago I'd be doing this, I'd say you're crazy. Well, there's no way. I'm already seeing responses that people appreciate me doing and taking the massive action. That's awesome. And the last one, give more than you expect to receive. Now, I'm hitting this from a personal perspective as well as professional because they both hold true. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to give more than you receive. You want to go volunteer something outside of work. I highly recommend that too. That gets you instead of being, okay, I got blinders on at work and that's all I'm thinking about. You're able to say, oh, wow, I want to go work with youth. I want to work with adults. I want to go work with the older generation to help them as they need to. Maybe you want to go to the hospital and help at a cancer center. Maybe you want to be able to say, okay, let's work with kids on the Easter egg hunt. We have that forthcoming, right? How can you help in that way? Well, that's my fireside chat for this weekend, in the first weekend of April. I hope you really enjoyed this, because at the end of the day, it's about helping you help yourself. That's part of my giving from me. I give more than I receive. If you'd like to learn more, be part of the community, and part of the community that really works with you. Be part of the co-op. Trust me, we're doing phenomenal things. And oh, by the way, I do have a look for some very soon. I do have a replay of what happened last week on our Dots talking about. We did a webinar talking about profiles and how we work at resumes, things like that. I have the replay forthcoming, as well as I have a course we're going to talk about how to enhance your LinkedIn profile. I did a trial run last week. It was great. Great. So look for that forthcoming as well. It's also an opportunity to invest yourself when you do that. So don't be fearful of it. Embrace it. Grow from it. Thrive. That's what I wish for you. Thrive with whatever you do. If you like to be the technical guy or gal, and that's all you do, that's okay. If you love process and you don't care about the technology outside just talking with folks, that's okay. If you like to only procure items and be able to track them so you're managing those assets throughout the enterprise, that's okay. Do what you're proficient in, because we all have different specialties. And the one thing I want to make sure you understand, irrelevant you're talking about the hardware, software, virtualization, configuration items, whatever it may be, whatever your specialty is and you thrive at, excel in that and then grow. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many different areas. I want you to excel in what you can do to further expand your ability. Because when you do that, you're going to be more appreciative of what you do. When you do that, everyone around you will appreciate everything that you do. And when you have everyone around you that appreciates everything you do, when you go home at night, that stress kind of just falls off, right? You've done everything you can. You feel very appreciative of what you've done, who you've done it for. It also helps you open your mind up so you're able to determine where you want to go next. How do you want to stretch your mind? That's Mr. Bill. Signing off for now, but I'm here for you. Please reach out, DM me if there's something I can do. Look for that upcoming training is forthcoming. It'd be all right now, but trust me, I said I have my own challenges. Technology is a challenge for me too sometimes. I'm working on it. As soon as that gets finished, it will be published. It'll be on my LinkedIn. Look for it. It's forthcoming very soon. I'm getting it out today. That's my goal. Make a public commitment. And it's all about making you better person that you are. Not that you're not good. You're probably great. But let's think about pushing a little bit further. Take that massive action. Appreciate all you do. Be safe. Be humble. I'll see you soon.